In chapter 3 of Jubilees, Adam will name all the creatures, and then Eve or Hava is created and named. Then the enactment of the Levitical laws of purification are created. And Adam and Hava from paradise are expelled. Then the law of covering one's shame or sin is enacted. And on the 6 days of the second week, according to the word of Elohim, we brought to Adam all the beasts, and all the cattle, and all the birds, and all that moves of the earth, and all that moves in the water, according to their kinds, and according to their types, the beasts on the first day, the cattle on the second day, the birds on the third day, and all which moves on the earth on the fourth day, and that which moves in the water on the fifth day. And Adam named them all by their respective names, and as he called them, so their name was. And on these 5 days Adam saw all these, male and female, according to every kind that was on the earth. But he was alone, and found no helper for himself. So this was after creation, and the Elohim, the heavenly host, brought the animals to Adam to name and to number. Verse 4, And Yahweh said to us, It is not good that man should be alone. Let us make a helper for him. And Yahweh, our Elohim, caused a deep sleep to fall upon him, and he slept. And he took for the woman one rib from among his ribs. And this rib was the origin of the woman from among his ribs. And he built up the flesh in its stead, and made the woman. And he woke Adam out of his sleep, and upon waking he rose on the 6th day. And he brought her to him, and he knew her, and said to her, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore man and wife shall be one, and therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and cling to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Verse 8. In the first week Adam was created, and the rib, his wife, in the second week. He showed her to him, and for this reason the command was given to keep in their defilement, for a male 7 days, and for a female twice 7 days. This is the establishment of the purification laws that we see in the Torah in Leviticus 15. We see this for both men and women who are needing cleansing or washing. Eden, in this case, was a sacred place like a temple. And after Adam had completed 40 days in the land where he had been created, we brought him into the Garden of Eden to till and keep it. But his wife they brought in on the 80th day. And after this she entered into the Garden of Eden. For this reason the command is written on the tablets of the Shamaim in regard to her that gives birth. If she brings forth a male, she shall remain in her uncleanness 7 days, according to the first week of days, and 33 days she shall remain in the blood of her purifying. And she shall not touch any holy matter or kadesh matter, nor enter into Mikdash, the temple, until she accomplishes these days, which are commanded in the case of a male child. Verse 11. But in the case of a female child, she shall remain in her uncleanness 2 weeks of days, according to the first 2 weeks, and 66 days in the blood of her purification, and they shall be 80 days in all. This is a time that a woman spends personally bleeding after childbirth. And when she had completed these 80 days, we brought her into the Garden of Eden, for it is more holy than all the earth besides, and every tree that is planted in it is kadesh, holy. Verse 13. Therefore there was ordained regarding her who brings forth a male or a female. the law of those days, that she should touch no Kadesh, holy matter, nor enter into Mikdash, the temple, until these days for the male or female child are accomplished. Verse 14. This is the Torah and witness which was written down for Yasharel, in order that they should observe it forever. Verse 15. And in the first week of the first Yobel, or Jubilee, Adam and his wife were in the Garden of Eden for 7 years, tilling and keeping it. And we gave him work, and we entrusted him to do all that is suitable for serving. Verse 16. And he tilled the garden, and was naked, and was not aware of it, and was not ashamed. And he protected the garden from the birds and beasts and cattle, and gathered its fruits, and ate, and put aside the remainder for himself and for his wife. And after the completion of the 7 years, which he had completed, there 7 years exactly, and in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, the serpent came and approached the woman. And the serpent said to the woman, Has Elohim commanded you, saying, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Verse 18. And she said to him, Of all the fruit of the trees of the garden Elohim has said to us, Eat. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said to us, You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said to the woman, You shall certainly not die, for Elohim knows that on the day you eat of it, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be like Elohim, and you shall know good and evil. And the woman saw the tree, that it was agreeable and pleasant to the eye, and that its fruit was good for food. And she took of it and ate. And when she had first covered her shame with fig trees, she gave it to Adam. And he ate, and his eyes were open, and he saw that he was naked. And he took fig leaves and sewed them together and made a covering for himself and covered his shame. Verse 23. And Elohim cursed the serpent and was wroth with it forever. And he was wroth with the woman because she listened to the voice of the serpent and ate. And he said to her, I shall greatly multiply your sorrow and your pains. In sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your return shall be unto your husband, and he shall rule over you. And to Adam also he said, Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree which I commanded you, that you should not eat of it, cursed be the ground for your sake. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth to you, and you shall eat your bread in the sweat of your face, till you return to the earth, from where you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Verse 26. And he made for them coats of skin, and clothed them, and sent them out from the Garden of Eden. And on that day on which Adam went out from the garden, he offered as a sweet fragrance an offering, frankincense, galbanum, and fragrant gum, and spices in the morning, with the rising of the sun from the day when he covered his shame. And on that day the mouth of all the beasts were closed, and of cattle, and of birds, and of whatever walks, and of whatever moves, so that they could no longer speak. For they had all spoken one with another, with one lip, and with one tongue. Verse 29. And he sent out of the Garden of Eden all flesh that was in the Garden of Eden. And all flesh was scattered according to their kinds and according to their types to the places which had been created for them. And to Adam alone he gave the means to cover his shame, of all the beasts and cattle. On this account it is prescribed on the tablets of the Shamayim, as regarding all those who know the right ruling of the Torah, Yah's instructions, that they should cover their shame, and should not uncover themselves as the Gentiles uncover themselves. And on the new moon, the new month of the 4th month, Adam and his wife went out of the Garden of Eden, and they dwelt in the land of Eldah, in the land of their creation. And Adam called the name of his wife Havah, which means life bringer. And they had no son till the first Jubilee, and after this he knew her. Now he tilled the land as he had been instructed in the Garden of Eden. May Yahuwah baruch you through the reading of these words. Shalom.